Hi, everybody. We're taking a look at BowLoon. It's balloons and a bow. Get it? You've got a classic mode and a story mode. And personally, I found, or an arcade mode and a story mode, I should say. Personally, I found the arcade mode to be more enjoyable. So we'll take a quick look at the story mode first. Essentially, with the story mode, you have a single challenge. In this case, we have the balloons lined up. And by the way, the graphics are very rudimentary on this 3D shooter. So you aim up and down, and we're going to shoot the arrow and try to shoot all of those balloons in one pass. Now, you can either pull the arrow down that you see on the top left to decide the strength and everything, or kind of strangely, you could just tap where it says pull, which actually more often than not I find I accidentally do anyhow. And when you do that, the arrow simply flies and seems to fly with the right velocity. So in the story mode, again, you have so many balloons, or arrows rather. In this case, we had 2. Now we're out. So now we're done and we got a silver for that. Okay, so that's essentially what happens with story mode. Then let's take a look at arcade mode. Now when you're playing arcade mode, the balloons are going to keep coming and coming, and if you don't shoot them, they go higher and further away from you, and they get increasingly more difficult to hit as they get further away. Fortunately, as you play, you can get several different kinds of special arrows, rockets, freezing arrows, flaming arrows, lots of different options to make it a little bit easier. And again, I'd mentioned the graphics are a little rough. The other strange thing I found about this particular mode, the arcade mode, is sometimes you can see your character and sometimes you cannot. You just see the flight of the arrow. Now, on the bottom left side of the screen, you can see the move joystick there. You could move closer or further away. If you want to move further away from the balloons, you could do that. And again, you can pull back the arrow, or you can just tap to shoot the arrow, which is a much quicker way to do it. And if you tap while the arrow is flying, then you jump back to the view from your character again. And you see this kind of ends with you doing this thing where you're always flipping back and forth between shooting at the arrow and seeing the view of the character. So that's a little strange, and it's a little jarring if you're trying to really get into playing the game quickly to keep jumping back and forth between those two views that are almost the same. You just have this information flying up and flying down from the screen. So it'd be good if there was some option to turn that on or off. And as I mentioned, you can move. I could walk all the way up to the edge of that circle where the balloons are if I wanted to. That doesn't necessarily make it easier, though. So the graphics are lackluster. The gameplay could use some polishing, definitely, and especially in the story mode, it just needs a little something extra to make the game more enjoyable. But that's a quick look at BowLoon for the iPhone and iPod Touch. For thedigital lifestyle.tv, I'm Ryan Ritchie.